Hey everybody, David with the Wholesaler's Toolbox. Today I want to talk to you about Propstream's new lead type or filter that they have in their system called Pre Probate Leads. Now, I sold this lead type years ago, but I called it deceased property owner leads. And I want to explain to you, one, how it's the same thing, but two, how Propstream is getting this information or how this information is put together. So the Social Security Administration keeps a data file of everybody that was collecting Social Security benefits that passed away. All right, so they've got this big, data file, and it lists all the people that passed away, last month, let's say, that were collecting benefits. And then the data brokers have this big list of all the properties in the United States and who owns them and all the information on the property. So the data brokers are getting the Social Security Administration list of deceased people, and they're merging it with the property records and coming up with this list of what Propstream's calling pre-probate, but actually it's deceased property owners, all right? So that's how the list is made. That's how all this information is coming into Propstream. Now, again, not all these properties are going to go into probate. A lot of them own joint tenancy with a spouse, or a relative or a friend or whatever. And a lot of times, or most times, those properties don't go into probate. If I'm living in this house with my wife and I pass away, the house just goes to my wife. She's, it's not going to go to probate, and it's not, she's not going to lose the house or have to sell the house to pay off the other debt. She just gets the house, all right? Often, other times, the house is in a living trust or some kind of trust, and that doesn't have to go to probate. They've already determined what's going to happen, so it doesn't have to go through probate court. Now, again, the conditions of why something goes to probate or doesn't go to probate vary state by state, but overall, that's how it works. If it's on joint tenancy or it's already in a trust or whatever, kind of clears the probate court. So let's talk for a second about why these leads are good leads, all right? And we'll start with probate. Probate leads, if a house goes into probate, there is 80% of those leads are going to sell or be transferred to, another family member within 18 months. So if you're marketing to a lead and there's an 80% chance that that house is going to be sold, that's a good lead. Now, all of them aren't going to be wholesale deals. Some of the houses are going to be nice, and they're going to be put on the MLS through a realtor or whatever. But, often the houses are outdated. The relatives live in different states. They don't want to deal with it. They might even live locally. They don't want to deal with it. It's full of stuff. It needs to be remodeled, all that. They don't want to pay the taxes on another house. They don't want to go cut the grass on another house. They don't want to pay the utilities on another house. So they just want to get it gone, get the money, and move on. All right. So it's a great lead. Probate's a great lead. Now, people also often, when they were buying deceased property owners leads from me, they were worried about how new the leads were, how fresh the leads were. And I'll tell you, with probate, that's not a big deal, and I'll tell you why. If somebody's parent died, let's say, all right, my dad dies, all right, and I get his house, I've got a grieving process to go through. That week, I'm not going to go, it's time to get Dad's house cleaned out. I'm going to sell this thing and all that stuff. I'm grieving, and I've got to deal with the funeral. I've got to deal with all this stuff. I've got to get, all his, past bills paid off, maybe his medical bills and all this stuff. So my mind's at other places. And then a lot of times I have to go clean out the house and, go through the stuff and decide who gets what and all that. So often, people don't even deal with, what to do with the house for 4 months, 5 months, maybe sometimes over a year before everybody's in agreement on, all right, let's sell the house. So Don't worry about if the lead is, new this week or last week or whatever. Probate leads, sometimes if they're a little bit older, they're better leads. If they're, if they still own that house and their dad passed away and it's almost a year later, that's a better lead because the time's growing closer that they're going to do something with it. All right. So probate leads, great lead. All right. Now let's go into a trust lead, or, something that's in a trust. Only about 40% of these in a 12-month period are sold or transferred. All right. So it's already determined. It's going to the spouse. It's going, they know where the property's going, and often they're not getting rid of the house. All right. So it's not as good of a lead as the probate leads or the pre-probate leads. And then you have the joint tenancy leads. And again, those are like 30% of those are sold in a 12-month time frame after the death. So again, they're not great. Some of them sell, but often, the spouse is going to continue to stay in the house and everything. So the important thing here is to identify which are probate or which are more motivated to sell, versus the joint tenancy or the properties in trust. You want to find the probate deals and the ones that the heirs are going to want to get rid of. So let's hop over to Propstream real quick, and I'm going to show you what I think is the best way to filter these leads. All right, let's hop over there. All right, here we are inside Propstream, and I just wanted to say before we get going here, if you want to try out Propstream and sign up for their 7-day free trial so you can look at the pre-probates or any other lead type they have in here, just check out the system. Use the link below the video. That's my link to sign up for Propstream, and I will throw in my real estate probate course and all of my probate letters for free, just for trying the 7-day trial of Propstream. So you can get in here and check it out and see if you like it. Okay. So anyway, we're in here. We want to look at pre-probate. So we're going to pick an area, and I'm going to pick Wayne County, Michigan, because that's where I'm at. So if I just put in Wayne County and no other criteria, you can see we come up with a lot of properties. There's almost 800 and, going on 900,000 properties in the Propstream system, but we want to filter that down to the pre-probate. So we can go in here to the quick list and go down to the bottom and just pick pre-probate. You can see all the other quick lists that they have in here, but deceased owners is what we're looking for. So if we pick that criteria, you can see it whittles the list down to 18,348 properties. It's still a lot of properties because, again, there's trust and there's, joint tenancy, and maybe those people haven't gone through the process of getting their spouse or relative off the deed or whatever. So still a lot of properties, and it's still, for most of us, too many to market to. So if we go back in the filters and pick on the owner occupied, we pick no, it's going to bring that down even further. It's going to bring us down to, just under 1,000 properties. So owner occupied or non-owner occupied in this case just means that the tax bill is going somewhere else. So let's say, again, this was my dad's house. My dad passed away. I've still got the house, but I've changed it so the tax bill is coming to me instead of just going to the house and sitting in the mailbox where nobody's collecting the mail. So absentee owner is a good way to identify, good properties to market because, the property, it's possibly vacant, but the tax bill is going somewhere else. So anyway, you can see 900 or 1,000 properties is a lot easier to market to. You could send postcards to all these. You can send letters to all these. You can get on the phone, and skip trace and start calling, and trying to track down the owners of this property. And this gives you a really manageable list to market to. And if we wanted to to narrow it down even more, we can go in here and say, you know what, let's just look at vacant properties, vacant, non-owner occupied properties. Now, vacant are going to be properties that the post office is determined to be vacant, and they're not dropping mail off there anymore because it's just stacking up in the mailbox or whatever. So 132 properties. I mean, like, you could drive by 132 properties in a couple days, leave a letter for them on the door, email them, send a postcard or whatever. This gives you an excellent list to go out, and you can market to these 3 or 4 or 5 times, in a sequence of postcards, and really pick up some great deals here. So anyway, that's how I recommend to use the pre-probate leads in Propstream. Again, there's a link in the description below the video, or below the video here. So let's hop back over the camera real quick. Okay, so anyway, you can see it's easy to filter down to these pre-probates in Propstream. I'm super glad that Propstream added this lead type, this criteria. I had this lead type years ago, and where I was getting it from, my source dried up. I was really upset because it was such a great lead. Okay, so I encourage you to try it. Again, use the link in the description under the video, and I will give you my probate course so you can kind of go through that and understand probate better. And I'll also give you all of my probate letters so you can effectively market to these leads. But I encourage you to try it out. I think you will really like this lead type. Okay, until the next video, this is David at the Wholesaler's Toolbox, and I'll talk to you soon.